Hi guys, so today I will be talking about the effects of Red Bull energy drink on repeated sport performance and specifically women athletes. So a little background, more now than ever, caffeine is becoming a hot topic of conversation. People are starting to realize the crazy dependence people can get from it. Astronaut, which is the researcher, was interested in the effects of caffeine, specifically Red Bull, on sprinters, which is really interesting. He used multiple scales, which included the RPE, which is the rate of perceived exertion, and that ranges from like a 1 to 10 scale on like how tired you're feeling, how much work you're putting in, and with 1 being the very lightest and 10 being max exertion. Now to dive into the research, the purpose of this experiment was to examine the effects of 1 serving of Red Bull energy drink, which is roughly 80 milligrams of caffeine, on sprint performance and the RPE of women college athletes. They hypothesized that the acute Red Bull ingestion will improve repeated sprint performance versus a placebo, which we'll get into later, but have no effect on the RPE. Now getting into the nitty-gritty on exactly how they conducted this interesting research. They gathered 15 female college soccer players, with 12 of actually the 15 of them being everyday caffeine drinkers from either once a week to 7 days a week. Athletes first did what's called a familiarization test. So that consisted of 1 set of 8 sprints. So after that was conducted, on day 1, half the participants were giving a placebo, which was a can of ginger ale with a Crystal Light packet in it, unmarked, and the other half got 1 can of Red Bull energy drink with a regular size with 80 milligrams of caffeine. On day 2, which was 48 hours later, the 2 groups blindly switched, didn't know which one they had the first day, didn't know which one they had the second day. The participants performed 3 sets of 8 sprints, and between every 4 sprints, their heart rate, their RPE were tested, and as well as their speed. Overall, after the tests were conducted, there was really no difference for the t-test and the RPE, which kind of correlates with what they had hypothesized. There was actually an increase for heart rate, which is pretty normal if you think about it. After you drink an energy drink, you can feel your heart palpitating a little bit harder than normal, a little bit faster. So that comes with or without exercise. Looking at the influence on low-dose caffeine on speed, there's truly none. And if you look at the decimal places on the graph that I had presented to you, the placebo actually does better in terms of speed than the Red Bull drinkers do, which makes you think, like, why is that a difference? Why is it not significant, like, jump for Red Bull drinkers? And that's because that there was really no benefits of drinking a low dose of caffeine before you go off for a sprint. And then that's like taking it before running. Gus really does not help. So to recap, 80 milligrams of caffeine have little effect on the heart rate, the RPE, and the speed. Though the low number of sprints may have not allowed for proper activation of the echogenic effects, the low dose of caffeine has no effect on high-intensity workouts, and we classify high-intensity workouts as like 10-second sprints, or you're doing like the 100 meter or the 200 meter, or you're doing like an intense HIIT workout. So there really was no effect, and there's no reason to take such a low dose of caffeine if you want to go into a really high-intensity, short period exercise. So in conclusion, Red Bull really doesn't give you wings. There's no benefit of drinking a small can of Red Bull before you work out if you are doing these high-intensity, short interval workouts. And here are my references, and I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thank you for coming to my TED Talk.